Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two, they got nothing but the genes. They got different strokes it takes, different strokes it takes, different strokes to move the world. Everybody's got a special kind of story. Everybody finds a way to shine. It don't matter that you got not a lot. So what? They'll have theirs, you'll have yours, and I'll have mine. And together we'll be fine. As it takes different strokes to move the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to move the world. We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they could send us to the morgue. We are the ones who are scared to walk out the door. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. Get off his fucking neck. Let me shoot you. He can't fucking breathe. So let me shoot you. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck now. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more.
This podcast features adult subject matter, adult language, and things not meant for children to hear. Viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned.
If it's Thursday, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the latest episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, the show where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bravo. Today, as like most days, I've got a glorious panel with me, or at least half of them are here with me. TJ is running behind, but he will be here shortly. But I got this guy here with me right now to kick things off. So before we jump into all that fun and fuckery, how you doing over there, brother?
Doing pretty fucking good. Glad I showed up this week here, relatively on time. We waited a little bit for TJ.
That's right.
Glad I'm awake. Glad we get some decent fights. There's some fun shit to be had.
Absolutely. So that being said, we will jump into the way we like to kick things off around here, starting off with a little bit of news and recent events, fight announcements, fight cancellations, all the fun and fuckery that has shaken down the MMA pipeline since we saw you wonderful folks last. Now, as is the case more often than not, once again this week we start by going back to some shit that popped off last weekend. Excuse me. There were several fights on the card that are definitely worth talking about, but the thing that I'm talking about here isn't actually one of the fights. It was one of the okie dokes that got pulled on all of us because I talked about it on the show. I know several other different podcasts that I follow talked about it as well. Eileen Perez missed weight by a pound and a half and then appeared to be shaking and needing help getting off of the scale and walking to the back after missing weight, kind of indicating that she had a rough camp and was having a very difficult weight cut, and then subbed Zarnikova in I think it was 2.5 minutes, under 3 minutes anyway, and then twerked in her face and got banned for fighting in France because of it. But the big story turned out that it was all an act. She missed weight on purpose. She shook on the scale as a show to try and get into her opponent's head. She admitted to all of it after the fight was over. I'm not sure if giving up 20% of your purse is worth trying to get into your opponent's head, especially considering how easy that fight went and how easy that fight was predicted to go by pretty much everyone who was watching before the weigh-ins ever even happened. And then, ironically enough, even after the weigh-ins, even after the whole act and show and whatnot, the vast majority of people on like Tapology and places like that were still favoring Perez. So even after a weight miss and potential weight struggles, everybody still thought Eileen Perez was going to fairly easily be able to take this fight. So why she thought she needed to miss weight on purpose and then give up 20% of her purse doing so to win a fight that didn't even last an entire fucking round is beyond me. But I don't feel like that's going to have a positive outcome going forward here, especially now that she's admitted to missing weight on purpose.
Yeah, I think she is bullshit now. So when we were watching the fight, she looked immediately weak as hell, immediately gassed, showed all the signs of somebody that had a horrible weight.
Yeah.
So to me, I just feel like
legit,
she
yeah.
fucked up, didn't do things the right way, had a bad weight cut. She wound up getting lucky. She got the win, but
Right.
and then she's
Yeah.
just kind of talking shit about it, to try to cover her ass.
Try to
That's how I
save
felt.
face. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's at least a small degree. If that's not the whole story, that's at least a part to fucking play in it for damn sure. Because if you were that close to being on weight, 20% of your purse is not worth any mental advantage you would get on your opponent, especially at this level. She's not fighting on a 14-14 contract. I'm willing to bet she's making better than 14-14. So giving up 20% of that just to quote unquote get in your opponent's head seems pretty fucking silly to say the very least.
I said it to Vin like after that fight with that finish and shit. You know, her win streak she's got at this point. That division is so weak. She could be putting herself in a title spot if she wasn't having the bullshit going along with the outside of the cage shit with Jocelyn Edwards before that fight and her last fight, and now missing weight. It's just,
Well, and
you know,
the
and
extra
I
funny
don't know
part,
if the UFC likes the ass shaking.
right? Well, and the
We
other thing,
maybe like the ass shaking, but I
right,
don't know if they do. I mean,
right. Well, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Aside from everything else, yeah, she might have got an advantage on her opponent. Yeah, she might have got a 20-second fucking win or whatever the hell it was, stupid fucking quick submission. But at the end of the day, because she missed weight in this process, she cost herself a potential fight bonus. Like that was one of the fastest finishes on the card. It was one of the best finishes on the card, but because she missed weight, she automatically disqualifies herself for any post-fight bonuses. She's automatically out of the running for that 50K, and she probably would have got it this weekend very easily with all the few finishes that came from fucking France. So she probably could have went over there and got herself a $50,000 fucking bonus which absolutely would have more than negated what that 20% purse she fucking gave up was. But now she doesn't get either one of them. She's out 20% of her purse. She's ineligible for a fucking bonus. And she looks like an idiot because she was twerking in a bitch's face that she easily just walked through. So that shouldn't have been an issue to begin with. So the whole scenario, that whole situation just caused a bad fucking time over there, to say the very least. That being said, we got a little bit of news from the boxing side of things this week. The first one we got, excuse me, it is officially official. It has been rumored for a while, but it is now official. It is public information. You can now verify it. Devin Haney has officially filed a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia for their fight from back in October. The commission, the athletic commission, has already ruled against Devin Haney on an official standpoint. He is officially suspended for a year. He was fined like, I think it was $1.2 million. And that's when he said he was going into retirement and all that nonsense. So that's just from the athletic commission. This is actually Devin Haney directly suing Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy as well, I believe. So this one seems like this is going to be a pretty fucking cut and dry case. Ryan Garcia showed up off weight on steroids in their fight. The win has been overturned. The commission itself ruled against him. It seems like a fucking T-ball layup for this lawsuit to just knock right down and reach real deep into Ryan Garcia's pockets, whatever might be left there at this point. But not a good look for damn sure. If Ryan Garcia wants any hope of ever getting back into the serious side of boxing again, this kind of shit can't be fucking happening. It can't be just running wild like this, because this will end what little career he might have left at this point, in my opinion. We'll see, though. The other side of it, though, on the boxing world, we got confirmation directly from the horse's mouth himself this week. Terrence Crawford confirmed that he had, in fact, spoken several times and indeed accepted, but did not follow through with negotiations from one Conor McGregor himself for a pair of fights, a MMA fight and a boxing fight, both with Terrence Crawford and Conor McGregor. And Terrence Crawford came flat out and said, yes, absolutely, that is the truth. They called us. We were in talks. They sent us negotiations, but we did not go further with it because I, Terrence Crawford, said, no, fuck that. I have zero interest in getting into a cage to let Conor McGregor kick and elbow the shit out of me, even if I could take him when he came over into the boxing ring. It just wouldn't be fair, and I'm not that stupid. Sometimes money's not worth it. Terrence Crawford, one of the hottest stars in boxing right now, arguably approaching the end of his career and pretty much able to do whatever the fuck he wants, flat out said the amount of immeasurable money they would undeniably make in a pair of fights with Conor McGregor is not worth it for the damage that he as a boxer knows he would take from kicks and elbows in an MMA match. Even from someone who is as far from his prime as Conor McGregor is right now, Terrence Crawford still knows it's just not worth it. So it is kind of interesting to see Terrence come out and be very open and public about this, and 100% willing to talk about it and acknowledge the fact that no, I want no fucking part of getting elbowed or kicked. I'll box anybody all day long. Keep your fucking elbows and kicks to your damn self. So it's nice to at least see a boxer be open and fucking honest about this, despite all of them talking shit about how easy work MMA fighters would be and how much money they could make off of it. Terrence Crawford is willing to be honest and be like, yeah, no, it'll be easy money if they come over to our sport, but if we go over there and they can drop them fucking bows and kick us in the fucking legs while we're trying to avoid them, just not going to be worth the money. So good on you, Terrence, for being smart and being honest about it as well. Back over into the MMA side of things here, we do have just a couple of fight announcements that came out this week. The first one here for MSG 309 going down November 16th. I couldn't think of a better place to put this fucking fight to make sure we get it before the end of the year. Damon Jackson is getting back into the cage, taking on none other than A10 himself, Jim fucking Miller. I think that is a spectacular fucking fight. Both those guys are about the same age, about the same experience level. Don't know how many more Jim's got. Damon is just trying to stay in there, but having a hell of a time doing it. So a guy like Jim seems like a real good matchup for him, and vice versa for Jim. I think it'll be a damn good fight. The other one we got here was the first official UFC booking for the 2025 calendar year for the very first UFC card of next year, which will take place on January 11th. Location TBD. Who are we kidding? It's probably going to be at the Apex. But we have the first official fight booked for 2025. It is none other than Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. Another very good matchup, in my opinion. Two dudes right at the same point. Good matchmaking from the UFC in both of those fucking fights. Glad to fucking hear it. That being said, the last couple here, not so glad to hear. The first one just literally came down the pipe about 3 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago now. No official reason given yet, but as of this afternoon, Bellator Paris, scheduled to take place on November 16th, has officially been completely canceled. All fighters are in the process of being booked. All tickets that have been purchased have automatically been refunded, as well as a buy one, get one free voucher being sent to everyone who had already purchased tickets for Bellator Paris, as well as a discount code to go to the next Bellator Champions card in Paris, December 16th at the end of the year as well. So something big went down behind the scenes. I wondered why the fuck Bellator would put on a card going head to head with UFC 309 at MSG to begin with John Jones coming back. There was no one they could put on that fucking card that was going to steal more than a couple of casual views from that UFC 309 card going on MSG. But now we don't have to worry about that because that entire event is done and scratched from the calendar. So that Saturday will belong to the UFC for damn sure. Kind of a rough one here. Alexander Munoz has officially decided to step away from the UFC and from MMA competition. In the last couple of years, he has just been absolutely fucking plagued with injuries, and then plagued with injuries in the process of recovering from other injuries. He just recently tore one of his shoulders, and then I believe he said he broke one of his ribs and fractured another, like in training. He's having a real rough go of it. He's having a hard time recovering because he keeps getting injured in the process of recovering from other injuries. And at this point, he realizes that it's just not worth the struggle, and he's just holding up a spot on the roster. And he sent a letter to Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard thanking them for their faith in him, but saying, and I quote, "It's time to let the next guy have a shot. I'm going to spend the rest of the time that I have with my family and no longer worrying about trying to compete or healing from injuries that are keeping me from doing so." Not always the way you want to see it go out, but this is absolutely one of those situations where I will gladly tip my cap to a gentleman deciding on his own terms to end his fighting career while he is still able to tie his own shoes, form complete sentences, and walk his children to and from school, because too often we see it go the other way. And I always going to applaud a man for having the conscience to step away while he's still able to do it, knowing the cost that he is paying or not paying down the road for it. So Alexander Munoz, you might not have been a title holder, but we tip the cap to you just the same, sir. That being said, on the not choosing to do it your own way side of things here, Luis, I believe his last name is pronounced Pajuelo, 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 I believe is how he pronounces it. Had just one fight in the UFC, got submitted in his debut in the second round, and got confirmed this afternoon that he has officially been suspended for 2 years for not one but two different steroids and androgynous, I believe it's androgynous, external testosterone, exogenous, that's what it is. The other one. He was taking fucking steroids and testosterone supplements all together and popped hot not once but twice for it. In the process of confirming the first test, they got another test. That one was also positive. So not only is he suspended for 2 years from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. He has officially had his UFC contract terminated. He is no longer with the organization. Fuck around and find out, son. Enjoy that PFL Tour contract. I'm sure is coming your way. That being said, though, that is what I have got for news this week. Do you have anything over there that I might have missed, buddy? Nothing? No extra news over there?
What'd you say?
I said, do you have any news over there that I might have missed this week on my side?
Oh no. I was too locked into what I was watching on the TV for a second.
Gotcha. All good. All good. So that being said, before I fucking forget again, like I have the last 8 million fucking weeks in a row, we are going to go over the combat sports menu for this upcoming weekend, because even though the majority of our shows work around the UFC schedule and we highlight the UFC shows in general, that is not the only combat sports available on the weekend. And we like to try and make a point to give you a little bit of listing of everything that is out there so that you can broaden your horizons if you so choose to do so. So this upcoming weekend, we don't have a whole hell of a lot. We've got a couple of the old tried and true standbys here, though. Kicking off first thing tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. One Friday Fights, because they're on the other side of the planet. Kicking off Combat Sports with Breakfast. This is one of those. Let's see, what's the rundown here? One MMA fight, 2 kickboxing fights with MMA gloves, and then 9 Muay Thai fights. Just absolute fucking awesome fun to see everybody getting the fucking gloves on, kicking ass and taking names here. The casuals are probably not going to recognize any names on this card. The hardcores will recognize a couple, but you know, punch kiki with breakfast. You can't always be picky. That being said, flipping it back over to the other side of things tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard, one Friday Fight Night 25 live on Amazon Prime. This one has 4 MMA fights, 1 kickboxing, 6 Muay Thai fights. This one, the casuals will recognize, I'd say, a third of the card, maybe not quite that. The hardcores are going to know probably half this card or more. John Lineker getting back in there, kicking ass and taking names. Crazy shit happening over in Kuala Lumpur, or excuse me, in Bangkok for this one. But then that brings us to Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, kicking off UFC 307 live from Salt Lake City. Pair of title fights top that card, but we will get into that a little bit more here in just a little bit. So this will be the point in most podcasts where you get some bullshit B-roll ad coming through for a product that no one on the show uses, from a company that doesn't even really know what the fuck the show is about. And we don't play like that around here on the I'm No Joe podcast. We're brought to you by viewers like you. Patreon.com/ImNoJoe. For as little as $1 a month, you help us do what we do around here. And in return, we put your name on the end of every broadcast on the channel to say thank you and show everyone how fucking awesome you are. And then we give you unrestricted access to the unaired and unairable behind the scenes nonsense and content from the I'm No Joe channel. Things that we just can't put out to the general public, that we legally have to keep behind a paywall, that may or may not been what got us kicked off of OnlyFans as a podcast. Only podcast to have that happen that I know of. But that being said, give as little as you want, give as much as you want, from $1 all the way on up. Anything you give helps us. We give you some goodies in return for it. Good times all the way around. That being said, if you've been watching combat sports as long as some of us have, you start to learn what you like when it comes on and how to watch it. You start to you start to develop a set of blinders, as it were. You start to lose the forest for the trees. And we here on the podcast luckily have ourselves a bona fide young person always out there keeping his finger so diligently on the pulse of the MMA world to help us stay abreast of all the names that are going to be names before they are names, in a little segment that we call Slows, Cans, and Contenders.
Appreciate you, brother. So start with the trash like I always do. Well, I almost forgot. We did have a contender series. There was actually two kids that interested me off of it. Okay, so one, his name's Alberto Montez. That kid looked pretty damn good. Got himself a second round submission. He looks like he's got some potential. I'll be looking forward to him when he gets into his debut. But Torres Finney, I just honorable mention for this kid. He won 3 times in the contender series because he kind of looked like trash in the second appearance. He won by submission the first time. Dana didn't want him. Second time, then he wins fucking decision, just kind of holding the guy on the ground. Obviously, he ain't going to get a contract for that. But for whatever reason, they brought him back third time. He gets a first round TKO. I like the kid's personality. He's got a great positive personality. He's stealing from The Rock, but that shit was fucking hilarious too. Can you smell what Torres is cooking? I don't know. That tickled my funny bone. It's only his personality. Kid didn't look like he's a great fighter. He's getting his opportunity in the UFC. We'll see if he gets murdered or not. But I like the personality. But the other kid, Jacoby Smith, he's the one that really he was like a dog. I was like, damn, this kid is fucking good. The guy he was fighting, he was just throwing him all over the octagon, picking him up, just throwing him down like it's nothing, beating his ass. And when they were on the feet, just outclassing him everywhere. Kid's got talent, and for once, DC actually, hyped up a kid that looked pretty good on the contender series. We'll see how he does once he gets to the tougher competition. Just wanted to mention those. Now, on to this weekend's trash. You got to throw the Ryan Spann, Owen St. Preux in there. I don't even know why the UFC remade this fucking fight after OSP got hurt earlier than this summer, and they had to call the fight. They should have just nixed that. I don't even know why OSP's still fighting, man. Dude's 41. He's been back and forth his whole career. Just a middle of the pack fighter. He got his chance at the title shot at one time. I remember being a kid, like me and Vinny were teenagers watching that fight. He just got destroyed. That was one of those reasons I stopped watching fights for a while, because that fucking main event was so boring. Like, there was so many of the boring main events in a row, and being a kid, I was just like, oh man, this sucks. I don't want to fucking keep watching this shit. I'm glad I'm back now, but we get that a lot. I'm just more mature, so I slog through the bullshit, just like you have to do with everything else in life. You got the good, you got the bad. If you really enjoy the shit, you stick around with it. I don't want to see this fight, though. There's nothing I should stick around for, even if I'm a hardcore MMA fan nowadays. Esparza versus Tisha Torres, now Tisha Pennington. This is another one I just want to throw in the trash. Probably the retirement fight for the both of them. I would definitely think so if Tisha loses this fight, whether it's the judges fucking her again or she actually loses to Carla. But even if she wins, I don't see her having another run at shit. She's on the end of her career. She's got herself a kid. She's got other things to focus on in life now. She was actually a decent fighter. She was enjoyable to watch. Was one of those ladies that actually would go out there and throw down. And that's the only thing that I can say I might be excited about with that fight this weekend. Is Tisha goes out there and beats Carla's ass one last time to send her the fuck out. That'll just be a great laugh. But I don't expect much from that fight. There's 2 other fights I'm lumping in here. I don't expect much from Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. Potieria's looked like shit since he got in the UFC. The kid's 2-4 so far. And Cesar Almeida, the 36-year-old with 6 professional fights. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Why did he even get into the UFC? I still don't understand this. And then this will be his 3rd fight in the UFC. That's what's even more fucking crazy to me. He's already shown his shit. He barely beat Dylan Budka in his debut. He got his ass beat by Roman Kopylov. And he's going to make Ihor Potieria look good, and I don't like any of that. So I'm throwing that shit in the trash. Another fight I'm throwing in the trash, Alexander Hernandez and Austin Hubbard. I like Austin Hubbard as a guy. He seems like a genuine dude. He's a family man, Southern guy. It was cool to see him on The Ultimate Fighter, but it's not cool that they did that season in general. Bringing vets back to give them a second chance, and they gave a second chance to every one of them. The guys that won that season, The Ultimate Fighter, and the two dudes that lost the finale. And Hubbard has kind of just still been the same guy. It's just mediocre, man. Doesn't really deserve to be in the UFC. He's a tough dude, but he's not really a good fighter. He's not fairly talented anywhere. He's probably going to win the fight because I think Hernandez is just shittier. But it's just another one of those situations, shit versus shit. Then you get a shit sandwich. I'm not here for those. I'm also going to throw the co-main event in there. It's a title fight, but that's the only thing. Because it's a title fight, they had to make it. They got to get it out of the way. It's going to be a slog. It's been a slog already. Media day, shit, press conference, and whoever wins, it'll continue to be horrible when Kayla Harrison gets to fight him. The lead up to it, anyways. But then it'll probably be nice when Kayla Harrison finally wins, because then maybe she'll bring Amanda out of retirement. We can get a decent fight in that ladies division, because it's rough. I feel like at this point, the only one that's not stagnant and feels like it's dying is the flyweight division, just because Valentina won. Like, that shit with her and Grasso settled now, so maybe it can open up again. But bantamweight, strawweight, they just feel kind of dead, because I don't think anybody can take Zhang out. There's just nothing exciting bantamweight. At least strawweight is exciting. There's other ladies that are fun, looking forward to, young ladies that look like they're potential contenders, but they're not going to be weightlifting. So it's rough, man. You got to throw all that shit in the trash. The other two ladies, Ketlin Beer and Marina Rodriguez, think they're going to show their true colors this weekend. Shit I have on the fence. The contenders, Joaquin Buckley. The dude's on a win streak, but the dude's been talking out of his ass so fucking much this year. He's ruined every opportunity he's had. He looked fantastic against Vicente Luque, UFC 300. Huge fucking fight card. Best fucking pay-per-view we've had this year. Ruins the shit with his crappy call-outs, the bullshit that he says after the fact. He does the same goddamn thing. He winds up convincing Dana to give him the fight in St. Louis. Looks good again, gets another win, and then goes out calling out Conor McGregor. And then shit talking, Chael Sonnen, Michael Bisping, Daniel Cormier. Now he's getting a fight against Wonder Boy. They're doing you a favor again. They're actually giving you a decent fight, an ability to continue to build yourself. And all you can do is shit talk a legend in MMA, a Hall of Famer, and literally one of the nicest human beings that we've ever seen in the sport. Anybody that shit talks Wonder Boy are just me. I eat a bag of dicks. And the dude's from Missouri, so it hurts the soul. Want to root for the guy. You actually have a potential, like Shavkat just beat him. Now he's in line for the title. You got a potential to work your way towards a belt, and you're a Missouri dude. And as much as I'd love to root for you, you've been shit before in your career. He's really been back and forth before this fucking few fight win streak. And he's just like Bilal Muhammad. He's just horrible on the microphone and in interviews and outside of the octagon. And in all reality, he's just a good wrestler. He's not really a good fighter overall. Dude's on the fence. He's got to beat Wonder Boy to keep himself going. And he's on the fence, in my opinion, more because he's never going to get the backing of us MMA fans if he continues to just stick not his foot in his mouth, but his whole dick and balls, and then somehow turning his fucking head around, and somehow putting his head up his ass. It's an amazing feat what he's doing. He's a hell of a contortionist, but I'm sick and tired of seeing it. So we'll see if he gets off that fucking fence. Then I got the fight, Delete versus Holland. Both guys, in my opinion, are like contenders for me. They have a potential to climb back up, but they've also both been like just kind of lackluster, mediocre here lately. And I don't really know if either one of them are going to contend again. I don't know if this fight's going to be good either. Could be good, could also be bad, where Delete just tries to grapple with Kevin, hold him up against the fence or hold him against the ground. They stand and strike with each other. It could be a fun fight, but I got it on the fence. I just don't know how to feel about that fight. The contenders, though, shit I'm excited for. Jose Aldo. Dude's fucking contender. He said it this week. He wants to contend for a belt again. He's here to make a run. That's why he came back. He said, fuck all the money, all the other offers to other promotions. He stayed with the UFC because he's got a goal in mind. He wants to finish his fucking career out on top. Dude's already a legend. And he just continues to build up that legend with shit like that. The only thing that I don't like is I feel like the UFC's kind of disrespected the man, giving him John Martinez and now fucking Mario Batista instead of giving him somebody in the top 10 and allowing him to really climb back in there. Because he was at the fucking top and then he just I want to go box for a little bit and then came back. So I'm not liking that, but I do think he's going to easily win against Mario Batista. He's going to show whether he's getting up there in age. He can still hang with all these fucking young kids. He's still one of the best to ever do it. And I can't wait to see him make another run for it. Kayla Harrison, same kind of shit. She's been good the majority of her career. It's not that I think she's one of the best ladies in the world kind of shit. She's just miles better than the majority of the chicks that are in this bantamweight division. So I don't see any way in hell she's going to be stopped from becoming the champion sooner or later, unless Amanda comes back. Juliana Pena ain't going to beat her. Raquel Pennington ain't going to beat her. None of those fucking girls are going to beat her. She's going to run through Ketlin Vera this weekend. That chick is horrible, too. I laughed, Vincent, talking about he's taking her as his underdog pick this week. It's like, are you shitting me, dude? This chick gasses out 2 minutes into every fucking fight. She's literally shown in her past few fights no motivation. She just gives up. She just doesn't care. She's just showing up for the paycheck. I don't know. Couldn't ever explain it. Chick seems like she never wants to be there. But I'm excited to see Kayla go and work her way to the title. You got the fucking first fight of the night. Main event, obviously. I'm excited for that. That's, to me, a fucking contender. It's the probably most exciting fight of the night just because I'm interested. Can Khalil do it? He is a hell of a fucking striker. We finally get to see somebody actually with, good striking. Jamal Hill's not a good striker. Kid maybe has some power, but he's not a good striker. So this could be a fun fight. We might see somebody test Pereira like Izzy has. But the other fight that I got is the start of the night. Cord McGee versus Tim the Dirty Bird Means. I am probably the most excited for that fight on this card compared to a lot of any other fights. Just because I know those two are going to go out there, they're going to fucking throw down, they're going to give it their all. It doesn't matter if they're getting old, they might be a little bit fucking slower. Those two have been dogs their whole career, always look for a fucking finish. And at this point in their career, they both know where they're at. They ain't getting nowhere near no titles or rankings or any of that bullshit. They're fighting for us. They're going out there to get their paycheck and fucking put on a show for us. And it's going to be the only decent fight aside from Wonder Boy, maybe kicking Buckley's ass on the prelims that I'm really into. I had to fucking throw that fight in as a contender. Those two vets fucking going at it. That's just going to be fun as fuck. Yasmin Lucindo. That's my last one for contenders. That 22-year-old strawweight, the knockout power she possesses. She's going to go out there. She's going to fucking destroy Marina Rodriguez. And it's just going to light this chick on fire. She's going to have the ability to work her way towards the title pretty quickly. But like I said, I don't think any of these young girls, like Natalia Silva as well, excited for her in that strawweight division. I don't think they have a chance in hell beating Whaley. And it's not necessarily that they don't have that skill. They're just too young. They got to get more experience and shit. And Whaley's just still in her prime. I just don't think any chick in the world could do it. I really hope. That's what kind of sucks about Valentina winning the belt, right? Because then it would just clog up the flyweight division again. It would be so nice to just get that fight, Whaley and Valentina. Because I just don't see anything else that'd be fun for Whaley at this point. Then it just clogs up the flyweight division again. That's what I got for contenders. I'd love to hear what you boys got. No, you got some trash, especially TJ. I know TJ probably throw all the prelims in the trash except for maybe what I said. You might agree with what I said. The first fight, and if Wonder Boy can whoop Buckley's ass, and everything else can go fuck itself.
I'm actually going to one-up you here on that. Every fight from the beginning of the early prelims, all the way up until the premier prelim, throw it in the fucking cans. Every fucking one of them. Marina Rodriguez, Yasmin Lucindo, don't give two flying fucks. Austin Hubbard, Alexander Hernandez, don't give two fucks.
Oh, yeah, I really don't give it a single fuck about it.
Beta, Pateria, don't give two fucks. Span and OSP, both of you motherfuckers just retire, please. Same with Esparza and now Tisha, formerly Torres Pennington. Both can fucking retire. Go play mommy for fucking Raquel's kid, since that's your fucking job now. You took her name. You're mommy. That's how that works. Look, as much as I love the Dirty Bird and Court McGee for being old school fighters, they're just that, old school fighters. If they want to fight anymore, they need to ring up fucking Jorge Masvidal, get in on that bare knuckle MMA. Go the fuck over there, because we're done in the UFC with you. Now, premier prelim, that fight as a whole, I just don't fucking like. Joaquin Buckley has indeed been a cocksucker as of late. But there's no denying that he's on a fucking tear. 4-fight win streak. And it's been fucking decision, KO, decision. KO, decision, KO, decision. His last fight was a decision. I knew I had those backwards. By the way, he's doing well. If he could step out of his own fucking way, and by that I mean stop having diarrhea of the mouth. I think the dude needs to eat some more fiber, because he just opens his mouth and shit falls out. If he could do that and step out of his own way, he'd be a lot more likable. Where's the Joaquin Buckley that's got the highlight reel? The guy that everybody was talking about and was just glad to fucking be here. Once he lost that, he's lost a lot of fan base because of it. Granted, on the other side of that, if he is going to start leaning into the heel thing and keep doing the heel thing, good on you. We do need another heel. Because, to be honest, there's not enough of them, in my opinion. That doesn't mean you're going to gain fans, but it's definitely going to sell fights. But anybody who does talk about Wonder Boy that way can get hit by a Mack truck, start on fire, and I wouldn't piss on him to put him out. Wonder Boy is legitimately the nicest guy in all of MMA. You can't talk about the dude like that. It's just not socially acceptable, period. It's like picking on a kid with Down syndrome. You just don't fucking do it. Unless the kid is picking on himself and wants you to join in. But Wonder Boy ain't doing that. I'm just saying. To get into this main card, I don't give two fucks about the opening fight in Ketlin Vieira and Kayla Harrison. Don't care. I don't care about Kayla Harrison. I haven't since she's joined the UFC. The reason they brought her over is to save the bantamweight division. That's it. What they should have done instead of making her take all these goddamn fights, just throw her right into the title fight because she obviously has the fucking wherewithal to do it. And to be honest, she's built like a fucking man. Look, she is literally, if you go watch the interview, you'll understand why I say this. She is legitimately a female Brock Lesnar. And in a females division, being Brock Lesnar, you're going to kill the other females. It's just how that works. There's very few in the bantamweight that are going to be able to put up a stink about that. Ketlin Vieira is not that fucking person. So yeah, that fight as a whole, it's a can fight, and not because of where they're ranked or anything like that. It's just because we already know the outcome. It's not necessary. Kayla should be getting this fucking fight, not Juliana Pena. We'll hit the next one too. Fuck it, I'm gonna do them all. Rome Delidze, Kevin Holland. That's going to be my fucking Schrodinger's contender fight of the night. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential there. But we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how to feel about that one.
And it's not that I don't feel like I like Kevin Holland. I like Kevin Holland a lot. He's trashy motherfucker, Superman in the fucking streets, but talk some crazy shit before, during, and after fights. Gotta love
He
him.
shits the bed sometimes.
He does. That's why he's fallen into this category. Roman Dolidze looked like he had a huge head of steam and could have done great things in the middleweight division. Fucking derailed. So this fight as a whole, contender. Move right on. Jose Aldo, Mario Batista. Nobody's going to like this, but I'm going to say it. Can it all. I love Jose Aldo, what he did for the sport. He's not old for the sport. People forget. Everybody thinks he's so fucking old. He's just been in the sport since he was fucking early 20s. And he was a professional then, running Strikeforce as a champ. Comes to the UFC, runs it as a champ for a long time. Problem is the game evolved. He didn't quite evolve with it. Not enough. This fight as a whole doesn't make sense. Why are you gonna? He's just coming back. You're gonna give him a number 11 ranked guy in the bantamweight division. Why? He left in the top 10. He left in the top 5, if I remember correctly. He shouldn't be having this fight. They should have at least given him a top 5 fucking opponent to come back against. So yeah, this fight as a whole doesn't do anything for Jose. Well, fuck Mario Batista. There's nothing about that dude that ever screams he'll ever be champ. Moving on, co-main event, moving on. Main event. This does have fight as a whole. I like it. It's just going into my contender fight. It just is. Both of these guys are strikers. And to be honest, I'm low-key rooting for Khalil just because that whole coming from like 300-pound teenager to being ripped as shit and fucking he's gotten progressively better. Yes, he's ranked number 8. Probably shouldn't be getting the title shot, but the fucking steep power curve that he's gone up on lately tells me he's fucking ready for it. To be honest, I'd like to see him have one more fight, but he's looked so good in his last couple. Why the fuck not? And if Alex wants to keep fighting and holding that title up, which I want to say I greatly appreciate. I wish people in the heavyweight division would do that. Wink, wink. Fuck you for holding the heavyweight division up. That's the best fight on the card, in my opinion. It really is. Everything else was just slopped together so they could put on another pay-per-view at $80 a whack or whatever the fuck they're going for this week. Yeah, that's what I got. it just hit or miss. I'm not calling any specific person out. I'm just calling the fights out as a whole this week.
I can understand that as well. The prelims, I think the nicest thing that I can say about them is that they try. Bless their heart, I believe is the phrase that would be used if we were a little further south. Bless their heart for them prelims. They know what they done. Um, I will say though, the main card is pretty goddamn decent. I definitely wish they would have switched out the fucking and I know it's unpopular opinion, but I still think they should have switched out Carla and Tisha for Roman and Kevin. There's no fucking reason that fight has to be on the main card. It has no implications in the division. It has no implications on the greater fucking fight or the greater fight card itself as a whole. And at least one of those two ladies is retiring with genuine accolades to their name. If both of them retire, like was mentioned, is a very legitimate possibility. Both of those women will be retiring, and in either case, their resume would be better than Delize and Kevin's put together. So I think that fight should have been on the main card more than the other one. But other than that, the main card is the only actual portion worth really getting excited about. The prelims on this pay-per-view and the prelims and the early prelims on this pay-per-view are essentially the main card caliber of an Apex card. That's not a compliment. Um, Aside from Yasmin Lucindo, there's not really a whole lot I'm terribly excited about on the prelims to begin with. I am with Christian though. I'm more excited about the Tim Means Court McGee fight than any other fight on the entirety of the prelims as a fucking whole. Maybe not of the whole card altogether, but as the prelims, leaps and bounds better than any other fucking fight on that card. I agree. I think Yasmin is going to beat the shit out of Marina. I don't even know why they made that goddamn fight, but you know, Yasmin needs highlights, so let her go, I guess. Um, the one that I will say is the can for me is I agree completely with TJ here. Ihor Pateria versus Cesar Almeida. Why, fucking why? Why? Not only on this card, as a fucking fight, period. What in the fuck was Sean Shelby smoking? I want some of that fucking pack. That's what I fucking want. I want to smoke something and go, you know what? Put Thierry and Almeida, let them do it. Fuck it. Because I get some pretty good shit, and I have never found anything that gets me that fucking stupid. So Sean Shelby apparently got the hookup. I think Maynard is rolling the stinkiest of ickies, apparently. That being said, though, technically speaking, I'm still calling Jose Aldo versus Mario Batista my Schrodinger's contender. I love Jose Aldo. Mario Batista is a very capable fighter, but there is, I would say, an equal possibility that the old Jose Aldo shows up, beats Mario Batista's ass, and then walks out like a fucking stud, as there is the Jose Aldo that showed up against Marab and just can never quite get his fucking feet moving and get his game going. Shows up, and then Mario Batista ends up looking like a fucking world breaker because he quote unquote shuts down Jose Aldo. We don't need that fucking headline, but there's a real possibility we might get it come Sunday morning, and that's not going to be because of anything that Mario Batista does. That's entirely reliant on which version of Jose Aldo we see. Don't get me wrong. I really hope we get old school Jose Aldo. I want to see WEC Jose Aldo fucking show up, kick ass, take names, fucking hiya, leg kick, drop a motherfucker, send him scooting on his ass across the canvas, and then run out like the king of fucking Rio. But I don't know if that's what we're going to get. I hope, but I don't know. That being said, I'm not going to lie. I'm more interested in the co-main event than I am the main event. The main event is a car crash. The only difference in that car crash is it going to happen in 35 seconds or is it going to happen in 9.5 minutes? That's going to be a car crash one way or another. There ain't no wrestle fucking going on in that main event. Ain't no stalling, ain't no grinding, ain't no bullshit. Neither one of those men know how to waste time. That's going to be a car crash. The actual interesting puzzle for me is the co-main event. Is Juliana actually getting in Raquel's head? Is Raquel thinking about retiring with her wife? Do we really have to keep playing this fucking game? Are either of them actually taking this seriously? Is Juliana just working on her degree in yapology? Is Raquel really just holding the fucking belt, trying to stay as the fucking top without having to fight for it? There's a lot of what ifs in this fight, but neither one of those women can give us a certainty for that answer because neither one of them have been consistent enough to rely on them. Yes, Raquel has the belt, but that's a questionable road to the belt. She got it off the fucking vacancy. Juliana, yes, technically had the belt, but she got it off of Amanda having fucking COVID, and it got proven in the very next fucking fight. So is either one of these women actually capable of making this an interesting matchup, or is this going to be the 25-minute wrestle fuck snooze fest that takes place on the card? I won't go so far as to call it a contender, but it is more curious to me than the main event.
It's interesting your take on the co-main event because I definitely think it's just a can, but I could only hope that somehow they surprise us, but I really doubt it. Both of those bitches talk a lot more shit than they can ever back up. At least we get to end on a good note. I'm really excited. Like you said, car crashed in the night. It is going to be an exciting. Appreciate both of you boys.
Thank you very much, sir. Always appreciated. So that will bring us to the point in the podcast where we have one segment that actually requires its own individual disclaimer. So if you Tapology.com does not in any way, shape, or form support, sponsor, or endorse the I'm No Joe podcast. Yet. That being said, Tapology does offer you the option to go onto their website, create a free account, and make fantasy-style MMA picks like we do here on the show. They even let you make groups, so we made one. It's called ImNoBookie, all one word, or Group 965, however you need to search it. The group is open to the public. You are welcomed and encouraged. Make yourself an account, join the group, and let us know who the hell you are so we can hold your picks accountable with our picks in a little segment that we call Tapology with TJ.
All right. So we're back. Apologies for missing last week. I fell clean asleep early as shit. It happens. Apparently something was going on with my system because, as you guys are going to find out, I forgot to put picks in last week too. I had a rough couple of fucking days. And being late today, just getting ready for vacation. I leave for vacation on fucking Saturday morning, so you guys won't see me for the next 2 weeks. So you get a break from this face. You should be thanking me. Now, going into last week's picks, like I said, I didn't pick them. Shit the bed. It happens. What are you gonna do other than, well, let's get your shit together and have a better week this week. Last week, Moicano versus Saint Denis. What a shit show that fucking card was. With the fuckery that France was trying to pull, I'm just saying, that's some shady shit. The US doesn't do that when fucking fighters from other countries come in. You really shouldn't be doing that there. I get wanting to protect your own fighters, but that's crossing the line. And at some point, the UFC needs to step up and say, nah, fuck you. Because it's not like those guys aren't tested regularly. But anyhow, let's get into this. As a whole, the group did very well. Even without me being there, I can definitively say the group as a whole, if you add everybody's scores up, were over 500. That doesn't mean everybody in the group was over the 500 mark on the picks, but most. The one who fell short last week was Donna. And to her credit, she was probably dealing with a puppy who just got snippety snipped. So she may have had other things on her mind and just wasn't thinking her picks through. But she ended up tripping over the puppy's nuts as they were and stepping on her beef curtains. Just shit the bed with 6-14. Now, with that being said, between first place in our group and second was 90 points. 2 picks, which very well could have went a different route had Christian not gotten a couple extra picks lucky, but he takes the top spot with 9 of 14 correct, 540. Meter and Don tied exactly 450 points, 7 correct, although they got there in different ways. Meter, 4 decisions correct. Don, 2 decisions and 1 perfect pick gave them the exact same score. Findog, 7 correct out of 14 was 725. Screwed him as he didn't get either one additional. If he'd had one additional fucking decision pick right, would have been a 3-way tie for first or for second there. So great job overall, fellas. I'll be in here to either get my ass roasted this week or not. I don't fucking know. But my fight picks have to go in tomorrow night, so I'll have to watch the weigh-in, see how the weigh-ins look, and we'll go from there. With all of that being said, and me missing last week, chances are I fell all the way to the bottom in the Grand Prix. So let's take a fucking look, because I'm looking at them now for the first time now. Yeah, I did take a pretty big nosedive there this week. So top of the Grand Prix, Christian sitting at 1920. Meter sitting at 1805 right behind him. Donna, even though she shit the bed this week, sitting at 1465, still within striking distance. Don, 1440. Me, 1370. Even missing a week. I'm only 70 points off of Don, so I could finish in the middle of the pack. Vindog's got to pull something out of his ass in the next 2 weeks. The UFC 307 and then UFC Fight Night on October 12th, which I will also have to do from the road. So chances are, I'm not going to lie, I will probably miss one of those because Saturday I have a wedding. Friday I'll be driving for a wedding. So I'm going to have to figure it out. The rest of the time I'm going to be in Disney. So, maybe I have a fucking idea. This just came to me now that we're talking about picks. Maybe while I'm in Disney, I can go around to certain Disney cast members and have them do my picks for me. That might be a little fun excursion to do. I'm just saying. Right now, my chances of actually coming back in 2 weeks are slim to none. So let's make it fun. Let's see if we can maybe I can get Mickey to make a pick for me. That would be fun. I don't know if we'll see what we can make happen. Although we're gonna be there for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, and I hear Jack Skellington is a thing at that, so I'm pretty sure a Halloween King could love to see somebody get knocked out and might pick a knockout for me. But we'll see. On to this week's odds. And actually, before I go into the odds here, as a reminder, if you don't have a Tapology account, why the fuck not? They're free. Go make one. Doesn't cost you a dime, 0. Then you can come over and join us. ImNoBookie, Group 965. Your choice, whichever way you need to get there. You don't have to let us know who you are if you don't want to. If you just want to do a little trial run, see how you do, that's okay. If you want to let us know who you are, please do. We'll tell you when you're doing good. We'll pat you on the back. We'll tell you when you're doing shitty. We'll remind you when you forget to put in your fucking picks. Doesn't matter. Everybody gets that fucking opportunity. Now, on to this week's odds here. Now, there are a couple worth mentioning on here, wider odds wise. So we're going to cover those. And for the most part, as per usual, a lot of them are coin flips. Surprisingly enough, all 3 fights, well, no, excuse me. The first 3 fights are pretty close to coin flips, except for the OSP and Ryan Spann fight. And this, I say, it's a fairly marginal amount. They've got Ryan Spann coming in as a -250 favorite, and OSP is a +200 underdog. So it's not a super wide, but it's mentionable considering there's a lot of coin flips on this card. Coming in next and closest to that is the Cesar Almeida and Ihor Pretoria fight that nobody gives a shit about. They've got Almeida coming in as a minus 400 favorite over a plus 310 Pretoria. Not bad. So there's some money that could be made there. Both of those guys could shit the bed very easily. So, to be honest, that's a coin flip to me. But yeah, the widest odds on the card, you'll never guess who they go to. The opening fight on the main event, Kayla Harrison and Ketlin Vieira. To nobody's surprise at all, Kayla Harrison coming in as a minus 1,000 favorite over a plus 650 underdog in Ketlin Vieira. Not a surprise. There's a reason why she should be fighting for a title, not a #1 contender spot. But you know, the UFC does UFC things. Dana's gonna Dana. That's what we'll call that. Now, onto the fucking honorable mention here, just because the fighter in it, the Jose Aldo Mauro Batista, legitimate coin flip. They have it listed as. We got Aldo as a plus 115 underdog and Batista is a minus 140 favorite. So it's a coin flip pretty much. What's really great here and absolutely terrible at the same time, the co-main event. It's so fucking bad it's a coin flip. They're giving the current champ odds. And when I say current champ odds for this, she gets a minus 165 favorite over a plus 135 in Juliana Pena. Again, nobody cares. The reason the odds are so shitty on this one is because they know that's going to go 5 rounds and going to be a boring ass fight. Now, coming in the last year for the main event, and Alex Pereira and Cleo Roundtree. That Pereira, the incumbent champion here, coming in as a minus 500 favorite, which deservedly so. Good fighter. Cleo Roundtree coming in as a plus 360 underdog. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I think the odds should be just a tad wider on this one, just because, I mean, you're looking at a guy coming up from #8 to fight for a title. It's not the first time we've seen this. I mean, we've seen it quite often lately where those guys in the #8 spot come up and take the title, a la Sean Strickland taking it away from Izzy. Strange things happen. But also the ranking system right now is so fucked up. But you know, hopefully they fix that at some point. But anyhow, all of the odds that I went over today, those are directly from BetMGM. So depending on where you're looking at your odds, they will vary, like I say, every week. But yeah, it's a slap together fucking card just to sell a pay-per-view is what this is. And so you're getting slapped together odds just to sell bets. So good luck, bet wisely, and hopefully everything goes well for you.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. So that will bring us to the point where if you're only listening to the show in the audio form, you won't be able to tell by the GIF that is rolled across the screen to let everyone watching know that this is the point where we tone down the ha-has and we turn up the fuck yous, where we stop being so friendly and we get a little bit more feisty. This is where we turn the show into a little bit of a competition and a little thing that we call the pit. Gentlemen, are we ready to do the damn thing? All right, then. Floor is yours, sir.
Oh, so am I running it this week? Because I didn't catch the last part of that earlier. All right, well.
Oh, yeah. He said he wanted all the smoke, so
Did you get enough smoke, Christian, though? That's the question. Fuck, means I gotta grab something
he's
right
about to.
I still
Oh,
got some smoke right here. Yeah, I got plenty.
well, we're gonna do this. Fuck it, we're doing it live. I gotta find a fucking pen. I would. Oh, better. We got a Sharpie. so everybody can see this, and a fresh sheet of notebook paper. So we do a little quick we're just gonna do a M and C. If you guys can't figure out who the M and the C is, that's your own fault. Close scoring as per usual on the ImNoJo channel. I'm not gonna lie, once we made the move to the close scoring, this has been a lot more fun of a fucking time. It really has. We are guaranteed 5 fucking rounds, no matter what. 1, 2, 3, 4. And holy shit, I really need to work on fucking throwing those things together earlier or paying attention to my messenger. Although getting ready for fucking vacation, that is the last thing on my mind. So jump right into it. Since this is house rules here, away team, which would be Christian, since this isn't your channel, you get to call the coin flip. Do you want to go first or second? Not much of coin flip, I know.
I'll go first. Why not?
All right, where this is headed. All right.
I'm
Sweet.
feeling frog.
He's feeling froggy. He's ready to jump. Okay, so to start this off here, as per usual, we're going to start with the nitty gritty and the shitty of everything that's going on this slap together card this week. What do you think's which turd do you think is getting shined too much and everybody should shy away from?
Quite a few of those, but the one that I'm gonna go with the most, I'm gonna have to say Carla's last fight. Carla versus Tisha. We all know that both of, like we talked about earlier, both of them probably gonna retire. I liked what Meter said. You know, the placement is kind of fucked up. Could have done them a justice. You know, both of them probably gonna retire. So that's also kind of what, like, they're talking about it. They're trying to hype it up with it being Carla's last fight. And she's talking about it, but then you fucked up. You're not even giving that the featured prelim. They gave Michelle Watterson a huge video deal when she retired. I don't even know if Carla's going to get that. So it just kind of feels like they're shitting on it in general, and we know the fight's going to be shit. I don't think, even if Tisha goes out there and is on fire, it's going to be one of the best fights that we could expect to see this week. So with hype and talk about a fight that you know is just the end of the road for two women, it's probably going to be boring. It's just typical UFC at this point. Let's promote all the shit. It's going to be shit. Instead of actually promote the shit that is exciting to draw in people that normally don't watch MMA. It's kind of like main media news.
Like, where your head's at on that fight? To be honest, that is a pretty fucking shiny turd right now. They have shined the shit out of it. So, that brings the ball back over into your court. Back to the home team here. Here, with all of the overly shiny turds we've got this week, which one has been polished and waxed the most?
I've got to say, I almost need my sunglasses for this one because it's like strikingly, blindingly polished to a fucking absurd glow at this point. And that's OSP versus Ryan Spann. This is a turd so nice they shined it twice. They didn't get enough of the first go around. They picked it up out of the bowl and found one little smudge on the end and got the extra clean wipe on it and polished it on the shirt and then put it up on the shelf and then put a nice little LED light above it. The most relevant thing OSP has done in his UFC career was get the shit beat out of him by sick John Jones. I can't even tell you what the most relevant thing Ryan Spann has done in his career because there's nothing significant enough in his entire fucking resume to stand out in my mind enough to go, yeah, that was a Ryan Spann moment. His entire fucking career has been mediocrity. Why this fight needed to be remade after it fell through, I will never fucking understand. But I have heard 4 different mainstream quote unquote journalism or journalists in the MMA world talking specifically about this fight this week, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. The only thing that ever stands out for OSP for me is just he is the master of the Von Flue choke. They called it the OSP choke for a long fucking time for a reason. But other than that, what has Ryan Spann done? Yeah, those are 2 of the shiniest turds you'll ever see floating in a punch bowl. Because, man, they tried to sneak them off as fucking diamonds, and they are not. That's a tough one right there. It's just ugly to watch both of those. The one thing that they did right, put both of those sons of bitches on the early prelims. Now, since service is moving to the other side here, ball still on your side of the court there, Neater. Now that we've moved all of our polished turds onto their own little shelf, let's take a look at what are some underdogs that should have been a little more fucking glow sent to them. Maybe get a little extra coat of mop and glow, make that shit shine a little better, but they just haven't taken the time to. Which fight on here is saying, hey, you really need to pay attention to this one, or what's the one that's going to catch the average Joe's eye that's going to make them want to watch?
So it kind of, it almost falls through the cracks in how it's being shined, if that makes any sense. It's one of the few fights on this card that I actually agree with the placement of, but not for the reason that most people think. It's the premier prelim. It's Marina Rodriguez versus Yasmin Lucindo. I and a lot of other people have been proudly two-handed waving the fucking Yasmin Lucindo flag since she made her fucking debut, and I stand by the statement. If she doesn't get a belt in her hands in the next 3 fucking years, it's because something was done dirty to her or because she got injured. That girl has got what it fucking takes. And on the other side of that, she might not have, quote unquote, what it takes, but what Marina Rodriguez does have is 7 million followers in Brazil that are going ape shit waiting for her to get in there and fight anyone. And the fact that they are putting her against a fellow Brazilian and a hot prospect Brazilian at that means that half of the world is going to be paying attention to this, because everyone in South America has told someone else in South America, who has told someone else, who is bringing someone else, who is yelling at someone else, who is sending a cow with a note attached to its back down to the next village to let them know that there are 2 badass Brazilians fighting on a pay-per-view card this weekend to open it up.
I can see that. Wasn't one of my main talking points this week, but I can understand the excitement that it definitely deserved a lot more shine than those other 2 fucking turds that we were looking at earlier.
Probably because your village doesn't get notes with cows attached to them, vice versa.
That very well could be the case. Now, Christian, that puts the ball back in your court. Now that you've moved your shiny turd off to the side there, one of these fights is the one that you're saying, hey, guys need to pay attention to this. It could be one that's going to bring in a new avid biting at the bit to watch the next set of fights fan. Who are you telling to watch, and why isn't it getting the shine?
Well, I feel like this one's fairly easy. We talked about it earlier on my little segment. Because it has that potential to be a damn good fight. I'm going to go with the Delete Kevin Holland fight. And the reason why it hasn't been getting the shine is both the guy we touched on. Both of them haven't looked the greatest as of late. They've had their shit to bad moments. But I also feel like both of them still have potential to bounce back up and be contenders in that fucking division. Kevin Holland especially, he's got that potential still to be contenders in 2 divisions. He's been the dude that Hamzat was for a few fights when he first came to the UFC, and then he quickly stopped doing that shit. And he can't even make 170 now. They handed him a fucking easy turkey on a platter with Nate Diaz. He couldn't make the damn weight. Now he can't even fight at all. We'll see if he actually makes that fight with Rob. I think this fight has serious potential to be good. It hasn't been talked about a lot, partially due to their fault, But Kevin's still one of those shit talking dudes. This fight stays standing, we might get that kind of a fight. If Kevin Holland can beat a guy like Roman Dolidze, that'll be an interesting thing to see. That dude's a huge, strong motherfucker. Georgians are tough as shit, especially if he can somehow go out there and finish the guy. It'll be pretty impressive.
I like that. That was on my contender thing there. Thinking that there's, as a whole, we don't know what's going to happen in that fight because they could either both shit the bed or both do great. We don't know. I definitely think that one deserved a little more talking points. Maybe get a little insight to where those guys' heads were this week. So, don't keep the ball in your court. Coming around to third base here. Co-main event. What I'm gonna go ahead and I'll say it right now is a fucking snooze fest. Who do you got? Who takes this? Is it going to be exciting? Is there something that we need to watch for that maybe somebody isn't looking for? Christian, who do you see taking this co-main event? Does Pennington keep the strap or does Pena get it back off of some fuckery?
Sadly, it's just like you said, it's going to be a snooze fest. But I got Pennington. And that's where it's going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be just like her fight against Mayra Bueno Silva. I don't think Juliana Pena is a good fighter at all. I don't think she's got any goddamn takedown defense. That's Raquel's best thing she's got. She is a decent wrestler, but she doesn't have jiu-jitsu, man. Like, she is just going to lay on top of Juliana and hold on for dear life so that she can get through those 25 minutes and fucking keep that belt. And what you mentioned earlier, TJ, she might still do that. She'll win against Juliana and then just retire because Matt Brown and a bunch of other people this week have said it. If I was any of those ladies, I'd just fucking retire. Because Kayla Harrison's coming for you. Fucking Amanda Nunes might come back. Y'all bitches are in trouble. You're not on the same fucking level. It's just the truth. This fight's going to be horrible. Even if Juliana somehow makes this a fuckery-filled event like you touched on as well, that's not going to be interesting, man. It's just not. Her last fight against Amanda, even those moments where she came close with submission and she just got the shit beat out of her. She got a couple lucky moments, and it turned out she didn't get the win because she's not that talented. It's just she maybe has some heart and she's tough, but that was the one thing I heard in the press conference is damn true. She's like a chihuahua. She just yaps and yaps and yaps. Even if she gets her ass beat, she's going to keep on fucking yapping. She's going to act like she still deserves another shot at the belt. I don't want any of this, but it's that same situation when we had that fight with her and Amanda the other year. You got to get this over with, and that's just the sad state of this. Nothing exciting in this fucking division, so every one of these title fights is going to feel this way for quite some time, I think. Just get this shit over with.
I agree wholeheartedly. This is definitely one where I will be taking a piss or shit break. I'm gonna be on the road for this one, so I'm gonna have to be what. I don't even know that I'm gonna watch this week because of this fight alone. I don't know if I want to spend that money while I have shitty hotel internet service that's probably gonna cut in and out during the fights. I don't know that I want to pay to watch this while I'm on the fucking road. This right here, this coming event, that almost seals the deal for me. I'll probably maybe I'll listen to play by play, or maybe if we're lucky, Joe Rogan will be doing some sort of fucking fight companion thing with Eddie Bravo talking about, oh, that's right, he's gonna be here because
He's
it's in the
commentating.
States. Never mind. I don't get to listen to Eddie Bravo spout off fucking nonsense about aliens and bullshit. So maybe it won't be that. They won't be this week. Damn it. Anyhow, bring this ball back across the court before I get too out of fucking line here. Meter of this giant douche or turd sandwich, whichever one you would like to call it. How do you see this one going? Is there any excitement to be had at all? Do we get a new champ? And by saying do we get a new champ, do we get a champ that's already been crowned because of some fucked up shit? Do we get another, or does the champ who just kind of fell into their lap keep it? What's going on here? Please enlighten us.
So a lot of people don't realize it, but right now, women's bantamweight and men's heavyweight are in the exact same situation. Both belts are being held hostage for a fight that doesn't matter for the fucking belt. The difference between the two here is I think that the ladies' fight actually has a chance to be exciting, and not because of the reason that people think it's going to be. I think the ladies' fight is actually going to be more exciting because I think tomorrow morning Juliana Pena is going to come down with a mysterious illness, and then the backup, who's already going to be fighting on the card and weighing in as the backup, is just going to get elevated right up, and the weight and all the bullshit is going to get cut right out of the fucking problem, and we're going to get to watch Kayla step in, retire Raquel on the same night as she retires with her wife. We get a triple retirement weekend. Kayla ends up with the belt, and all seems right in the world for at least another 6 days.
I'm not gonna lie. I am fully on board with that idea. I hope it works out that way. Because, there's already been tricklings through the media this week about Juliana Pena possibly getting fucked up, getting sick. She's going to roll her ankle, stepping out of bed, all kinds of fuckery. Because I think the UFC knows they fucking put their own foot in their mouth here. And to be honest, if that happens, the tinfoil hats must come out. Because at that point, it's all a ruse. It's a ruse, boys. We've been caught if that happens. This fight as a whole, you guys are spot on. If it goes the way Meter's hoping it goes, and the most of the world is hoping it goes, it's gonna be great. Because then we see a champion who is gonna actually have to fight, not just fucking try to dry hump somebody against the cage for fucking 5 rounds. Or the other way around, if it goes the way Kirsten's saying, it's going to be boring as shit. We're going to see a dry hump fest, and the most you're going to get out of it is some obligatory ass shots from the cameraman, and that's only because the trailer guys don't cut away from it soon enough. Other than that, it's not shaping up to be anything fucking great. I just I don't know where to go with this one other than this is the best time to go beat your meat. Don't beat your wife, but beat your meat. And come back fucking 25 minutes later. Oh, I guess you could beat your wife as long as it's mutual and in the bedroom. I mean, there's got to be a safe word in there somewhere. Like tap tap tap, If they tap, let them go. That's all I'm saying. Now, on to more important things at hand here. Way more important things. We've got quite, I will say, the exciting main event, even though it's a guy coming up from number 8. No, and then we got two really solid strikers that come at the striking game two totally different ways, which makes this very interesting. Meter, on this main event here of Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree Jr., does Pereira retain the belt? Does Khalil sweep it out from under his feet? How does this play out? What do you think happens here?
So, two factors really make up my mind on this fight. One, 2024 has been the weirdest fucking year for title fights I have ever remembered seeing. And I have literally been watching MMA since UFC 1. I've been watching boxing since I was a little kid, but I've been watching MMA since MMA was a thing, quite literally. This is the strangest fucking year for title fights I've ever remembered fucking seeing. 2, Alex Pereira, upon stepping into the cage Saturday night, will break the previously held record for the fastest turnaround for title defenses for 3 within 189 days by Ronda Rousey to 3 within 175 days for Alex Pereira. So win, lose, or draw, there's already history on the fucking line. But the combination of that set of factors kind of almost makes it inevitable here. As much as I would love to see Alex Pereira come in, make history by defending the belt, the quickest turnaround in fucking UFC history, and then walk out with his belt to go Shama in the club, the MMA gods aren't that predictable. There's a reason we say MMA math doesn't work, because if MMA math worked, you would look at quick turnaround for 300, quick turnaround for 303, quick turnaround for 307. The recipe says that Alex Pereira is going to come in and just walk the fuck over Khalil Roundtree. And then you look back at 2024 and you look at how almost every fucking title fight this year that was supposed to be easy to see play out. And how did those motherfuckers play out? Khalil Roundtree, knockout round 2. Leg kick to right hook. Poatan goes to sleep. And new.
Ooh, that's a tall order. You know, we have seen him get rope-a-doped, so there is the possibility that something like that could happen. We've seen the wop, 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 fucking then fall over and make fun of his kid. So there is that possibility. I like where your head's at there. We could see that short turnaround fucking bite him in his ass. I like where your head is at. That's a good play on this. Now, with that fucking kind of a serve coming back to your side of the court there, Christian, looking at this main event and Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree Jr., how do you see this playing out? Do you see that happening, or does Alex retain the belt?
Well, I mean, that's the one thing I'll agree with Meter on. This has been a fucked up year, and I would love to see Khalil. I've said it this whole week. I would love to see Khalil fucking win. That'd be badass. Obviously, that shakes so much shit up. It'd be cool for him. He's a great guy, and like we talked about earlier, he has really leveled the fuck up. He has continued to progress throughout his career, and I feel like just get better and better. It's hard to fucking go against Pereira though. At this point, man, he's destroyed some serious dudes. The fact that he's just dominated Yuri 2 times that he has, like he had. He walked through Jan Blachowicz, made Jamal Hill look like a goddamn fool. He beat Izzy a few times, even if he lost the one fight. I think this fight is going to be exciting as hell. Khalil has the chance to make it very interesting. And I want to see that. I'm at a struggle. You know, it's like tough crossroad for me. I don't want to go against the, like Meter said, the MMA gods. It seems like that kind of year. And we've seen that bite a lot of dudes in the ass, the real quick turnarounds. Volkanovski is a good example. It's hard to go against Pereira, but it's hard to go against what seems like fate for this year. Every time we think, oh no, this guy, he's just going to dominate, run through this other guy, it's not what's happening. As much as I think Pereira gets the knockout, I kind of agree with Meter. We might see something crazy, but that's why we love MMA, right? The what the fuck moments. Either way, I feel like we get it though. That's the only thing I can guarantee. One of them's gonna go to sleep. We're all gonna be screaming and yelling at the end of the night. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Khalil, just like Meaner said.
I'm fully on board with both of those possibilities outcoming on this. Panda very well could keep it, especially if that fucking little left hook that he throws lands. It doesn't look like it comes hard, but everybody he touches with it goes to fucking sleep. Nobody, people just walk into it like, and bam, he's not. It doesn't look like he's throwing it hard. If you go back and watch any of his left hook knockouts, it looks like he's just kind of pawing it out there. But yet the power that comes with that, he's got a touch of that god power, right? Like, but those of you who were in the military at some point, you do these little war games when you're in basic training. They give you these little lasers on your gun. You're basically playing laser tag. Your drill sergeants have what's called a god gun. It shoots a laser in all fucking directions, kills everybody. He's got that right in his left hand. Khalil, though, he's leveled up. Look, I'm looking at this like Street Fighter. Like, I mean, got M Bison holding the title over here. Yeah, Khalil Roundtree Jr. started over there at level fucking 1, goes through all the extra fucking little levels, beats up the car, kills the dropping barrels. Hey, fights Vega, gets past Vega. Now he's at M Bison. Do we see the cheating ass CPU with his God Punch retain the title? Or can you out button mash him? It's gonna be a fucking fun fight across the board. I'm not sure who gets this. It's very interesting to say the least. Like I said, I think the odds they're probably not quite right, like I said earlier, but leave it to Vegas. Now, all that being said, I'm gonna move into round 5 here. Um, Unfortunately, because shit's going astray here with me being ready, I am gonna have to go to the board of tags, which means Christian, you have to pick the tag. And since you're picking the tag, and I'm forcing this on you because well, I can't really give Meter the option since he's holding the tags there and knows what's on them. You get prerogative. Do you want to go first or second after you pick the tag?
I will go second this time. I chose first at the start. I'll finish last.
All right. Now on the post-it notes of doom, there's 6 of them, 1 through 6.
5. 5's the best number.
I like where your head's at. Kind of mad at myself that I couldn't come up with something here, but there was a lot of interesting shit. Because
I love Meter's reaction. It's gonna be a good one on that.
please tell me if this is a question you came up with, Christian, you might be in the win there.
This is literally one of the first post-it notes that ever got put on the back of that fucking notebook and has never been pulled until now. I don't even know if Christian is going to be old enough to understand this question, but it is the question that was pulled just the same.
Let's see it. Who does number 2 work for?
Oh no, I understand that. I grew up watching Austin Powers. What the fuck are you smoking? Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking
Dr.
great.
Evil is
like,
the answer.
That was literally like one of the first fucking post-its that ever got put on there.
Mm-hmm. I think since he knows that, we might have to go again because that doesn't make it a. You know what?
Yeah. Number 2, the actual henchman works for Dr. Evil. Shits work for us, though.
That's right, buddy. You tell that to his boss.
In this case, I'm gonna throw one off the top of my head here. I got one. All right.
All right.
Christian, do you still want to go first since we're gonna do one off the top of my head? I'm glad that came up. It's funny. I enjoyed it, but I got one where we actually have to do a little thinking here. You want to go first or second still?
Oh, I'd show second.
You chose second. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then this is gonna be the question. Currently, there are quite a few retired fighters. What former, or let me rephrase that. What current retired fighter who was a former champ has the best odds of coming back and actively fighting for a title at this point?
I think that's pretty easy. It's the only male fighter that I feel like has a chance has continued to adamantly deny him ever returning. He had an interview in the past week saying there is negative percentage that I return. So Habib will never return. It's got to be Joanna, man. I still would love to see it. She's continued to get hurt training over the past year, and it sucks that she's dealt with injuries, but she's talked about it multiple fucking times that she still misses the shit. She still has a hunger for the shit. And nobody could deny that she would still have an opportunity, even though she's gotten older. We know the UFC would give her a big fight if she decided to come back. Dana White loves her. They would let her come back. They would give her a big fight. They would probably do the exact thing we were talking about earlier. They should have done for Jose at this point. She'd at least get a top 5 fighter, if not the title shot right off the bat. And it's mainly, like I said earlier, Weili doesn't have any shit going on. Jandarova's been on a win streak, but I don't think any of us are excited to see that. Otherwise, they would have already made that fucking fight. I feel like it's likely that Hunger's still been there. She gets fucking healthy again from the shoulder injury or elbow injury she had. I know she had some sort of surgery. She's had her arm in a sling from posts I've seen, but she's been getting back to like strength training and shit like that. Maybe. She's the only one out of, like you said, current retired fighters, former champs, that has shown the hunger and I feel like would truly stand a serious chance, even if she didn't look the greatest in her last fight before she retired.
I think where your head's at on that one. However, I will say I didn't say who stands a chance. I just said who would come back. But I like where your head's at on there, adding that little extra.
Well, I say stands a chance because she's got that ability to compete. But she's the only one who I think has any chance fucking coming back either. She's the only one that's made that statement. She still misses it, has the hunger. She's the only one that stayed training like she's going to come back. We've just continued to hear the rumors. She just keeps getting hurt.
I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at there. All right. That brings that same question back over to you, Meter, then. What current retired fighter who was a former champ has the best odds of coming back and fighting again?
So, since Christian not once but twice confirmed that he wanted to go second for this question, but then answered it first anyways, we're clearly bending the rules a little bit. So I'm going to bend the rules a little bit. I'm not going to say what former title holder. I'm going to say what former title challenger would come back, because everybody would like for Joanna to come back and put herself back in contention. But what's really super necessary is somebody to show up and shut up old, what's his name? I can never remember his name. That one guy that's squatting on a belt and already denied every title challenger that he said before he fought for the belt that he was going to go through one after another. What's his name? I don't remember what his name is, but Jorge fucking Masvidal has already confirmed now he is in talks with Hunter Campbell and Sean Shelby to come back to the UFC And he's already talked himself into 2 title fights coming off of a loss. How hard could it really be for him to talk himself into a 3rd one for a guy who already doesn't want to fight any of the other challengers? It just makes perfect sense to bring in somebody who isn't relevant in the division or the organization as a whole and come back in and take on the 175-pound belt, 170-pound belt, but 5 pounds of bullshit on either side of that. So Jorge Gamebred Masvidal.
I like that answer, and I like how we are bending the rules here a little bit. The last round is always a bit of a fuckery, so I mean, when we get a fucking question off the fucking posted notes of doom that only has one correct answer, of course it's kind of a fucking hard thing to do when
That,
everybody
that's
knows
the
it.
funniest thing too, is Meter pointing it out. I'm so goddamn stoned. I didn't even fucking realize that I said, "Oh yeah, I'll go second," and you still fucking had me go first. I was just excited to answer, man. Just like you said at the start, I've been feeling froggy all night. I'm just happy I haven't been passing out.
Oh shit. How, with all of that being said, do a little quick tally in here and get some final scores in. As a whole, though, this was fucking fantastic to watch. Uh, and just to hell was fantastic. Um, there we go. Overall, these are the scorecard from me, and I say these are because it's only the one. We'll start here. If you can't figure out MNC is, and I did take a couple notes just so we knew which rounds we were talking there. Christian takes round 1. Round 2, coming back over to Meter's corner there. Co-main. Meter looked like he might run away with it, but then no. Went a 4th round. And that last round coming in, Christian takes the last round only because, well, was a former champ, and to be honest, I'm on board with seeing her come back. I'm not gonna lie. I like gratuitous fucking shots. Why not? Really close, really fun one this tonight. Considering the amount of turd polishing you guys did to really sell this week, my hat's off to the fucking both of you. Because man, you shine the shit out of those turds. And anytime my head needs a shine, I know who to talk to. You two.
Absolutely. You know what to do.
I'm
Thank you
really
very much.
surprised that somehow I've managed to the last 2 pits I've faced Meter come out with a fucking victory. Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Even a blind
Yeah,
squirrel
yeah,
can't
I
do
think
that one
somebody
thing.
needs to check on the commission.
Right, we're gonna
Maybe
have to.
commissioner, all the time he's been having to miss,
Listen, last
maybe
time I
he's a
smelled
little
cigarettes and
tired.
alcohol.
Are you overworked, TJ? Are you sure I won? I'm concerned.
My math looks right, so yeah, I'm gonna go with yeah.
I'm
And
just impressed.
I do have a degree in math and science, so the math is good.
There you go.
I'm impressed with myself. Whenever I don't pass out, apparently I'm worth a damn.
Turns out.
Apparently, you just need to stay froggy.
Right? No shit. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Golf T, for handling that. Christian, well played, sir. But that is going to bring us to the end of this particular episode. Thank you to everyone who was tuning in. If you don't know, we do this live pretty much every Thursday night that there are fights to talk about. We do it about 9:30-ish Central Standard Time here on the YouTubes, youtube.com/@ImNoJoe. If you don't catch us live, videos stay up in replay format, but if you don't feel like watching it, I get it. I own a mirror as well. Fret not. The week after we go live, the all audio format drops over on anchor.fm/ImNoJoe. You can pick it up in your podcast consumption platform of choice, Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. We are everywhere you can get a podcast that way. If you'd like to help out around here, best way to do that, patreon.com/ImNoJoe. For as little as $1, as much as you want to give, helps us do what we do. We put your name as a thank you on the end because it's fucking awesome that you're helping out. That being said, that is all we've got for this particular episode. So if you liked what we get up to around here, please make sure you've got a thumbs up on that little option down there, and your notifications are turned on so you don't miss an episode. We appreciate you. And on the other side of that coin, if you didn't like what we get up to around here, first and foremost, what the fuck are you still doing this deep into a podcast that you didn't enjoy? Give it a thumbs down and go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That said, when we wrap up the show around here, that is not the end of the fun, because tomorrow and pretty much every Friday morning, that gentleman over there, no, yeah, over there, that side, that gentleman and his other half drop their podcast, the Slow Bacon Contemplates podcast, over there on Spreaker.com. Links to that as well as their socials are down below in the description. Go check that out. Tell them how awesome they are, and let them know on their channel on the I'm No Joe Discord server. Also linked down below.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, fun never fucking stops. Well, usually, brother TJ has been taking a little layoff. 23rd. Oh, so the return is set. Make sure you still follow the brother on all of his platforms. Check everything out. All the links will be down below. But normally, every fucking Wednesday night, about the same time that we do this show, you can check out Golf T Vape's YouTube channel. Tune into the Foggy Fairway. If you're into fucking vapes, you want to learn some mixes, some recipes, or you just want to chill, have a good time, make sure you hop in Wednesday nights around 9:30. Show the brother some fucking love. I'll be returning the 23rd from what he just said. Make sure you tune in.
Thank you, sir. Yes, the 23rd is indeed correct. I will be back from vacation that previous Saturday or Sunday, depending on how I feel. And then we'll be finally back on air on Wednesdays. Because I think taking the summer off was good for me. I got in a lot of golf and a lot of family time. And I think that was much needed, because it's turning into a job. I don't want it to be a job. I want it to be like when I'm here, having fun, fucking talking shit and fun shit. But now, knowing that I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks, I have to get this out of my system now. So, bear with me while we run down this. Make sure that you are watching Slow Bacon Contemplate every fucking week. The boys are putting shit out every Friday morning, like clockwork, or Friday afternoon, whenever I get to it. I know what I mean. But it doesn't matter. You get the point. Now, if you don't know, Meter does many things. In fact, he does very many things. So if you get on below, Linktree / the Meter does many things, or Linktree / I'm No Joe, you can find all of the many things that the Meter does do and keep you busy in that 2-week span while I'm fucking gone. You'll have plenty of things to take up your time. Now, who knows? Maybe we get lucky. I'm on vacation. I do a little quick ring in, fuck you, and then move on with my day. We don't know. It could happen. Probably not, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm disconnecting from fucking everything while I'm on vacation, except for the golf course, because I'm probably gonna golf in Florida. But yeah, there is that. But yeah, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure. I will miss you all for the 2 weeks that I'm gone. I hope everything goes well. And to those of you that do watch and tune in regularly, thank you. Appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in 3 weeks back on the ImNoJo channel, and 3 weeks from now on my own channel, if you so dare to come and hang out with us.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. Excuse me. That being said, that is all we've got for this particular episode. Again, we are not doing review shows at the moment. If you would like to know how any particular exciting fight ends over the course of this weekend, keep your eyes tuned on the I'm No Joe YouTube channel. They have added little slots at the top now. They separated everything out. There's a little tab up there that says shorts. Any fight that finishes, not decisions, because nobody gives a fuck about those. Any fight that finishes over the course of this weekend that is exciting and you need to know about, I will make sure that I have at the very least a picture of the finish up behind me, depending on what fucking outfit it's with, maybe a video, but at least a picture up behind me to let you know what the fuck just played out, so you don't have to watch all the bullshit if you don't want to either. That being said, that's all we've got for tonight. So remember, boys and girls, until next time, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything.
fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times